Get 'em Jimmy, where low shack at? The bottle's getting nippy up the crack and we stacking chips, all of it's what I want. Plus money winners, that's what I'm on. You can say I'm gone. I prefer elevated pub sports radio. Time to get educated, get produced, leave the juice, letting loose with so much abuse that the bookies wanna call a truce. They getting slaughtered. Can't forget Jeff and low baggers in the chat. That's a lethal weapon 'cause we be pubbing.
All right, so hey everyone, welcome into another edition of Betting with Bouquett, live on a Friday. I thought it was a Tuesday for a hot second there, Dabby Cab. I was like, oh fuck, did I forget about Pete? But it's Friday.
What?
I had that thought run through my head there, but it is Friday. Appreciate everyone. We're back. All-Star break done, refreshed. Dabby Cab, I can proudly say I watched 0 seconds of the All-Star game and 0 seconds of the Home Run Derby this year because I just did not care at all.
Yeah, I don't either. Shout out to the people who fucking bet it and make money on it. Like, that's cool. But it's a break, man. With what we do, it's a grind. It's every day, in and out every day. Like, take your breaks when you get them because there's not many of them.
Yes. And I wanted to, get some action on it, but I was like, yeah, I'm just throwing darts. Fuck this. So I didn't watch it at all. And yeah, it's definitely a grind every day in and out. So it's nice to get away for a little bit, but we appreciate everyone. It's nice to be back. It's nice to see all these friendly names in the chat. As always in here, shout out to Justin McElvey first in here, dropping his stacks pod. Shout out to you, Justin. Schwarber over 1.5 bases. Justin going to come for a great second half. I can feel it in my loins. Moose Money in here. Moosey, how was the Moose show with you and him the other day?
Oh, it was good, man. It was good. We had a good time, let everybody know that we were raising money to help get you out of jail. So glad you're back, bro.
No problem. Thank you for bail money. I appreciate that.
Yep.
But you will have to do that again in early September. So.
Okay. I love how you let me know. It's like, hey, can you or no? Hey, you got to do it again, just so you know.
Well, you'll do it at least one of those days. I can tell you. I'll be gone for a little bit in September. Shout out to
just give it to me, man. I got it. No worries. We'll hold it down.
Fly White Mike in here. Michael Overlina. Serious Business in here, as well as my guy Rocco Rogers, a.k.a. Rocco Rogers. J Dub in the joint. Billy Friedrich. Sharon Pullman. Moose Money, like I mentioned. And shout out to you, Billy. I did finally get a haircut. It was a little long overdue. I personally hate it, but it is okay. Johnny Guns telling you that he's going to move to Texas. So shout out to you there, Johnny Guns, as well. Your name fits the Texas vibe there. Sharon.
Hey, hell yeah. Hit me up.
Corey Allen, Viper MD, Vitalis, Markel in here, T in here as well. Shout out to my guy T, grinding his ass off, producing shows and shit. BJ in the joint. Oof. A 2-unit fade of the great Shohei Ohtani, and he's on the Astros money line there. Shout out to.
Is this gonna be his last game as an Angel pitching?
No.
Are you sure on the mound? It won't be his last game on the mound.
I'm 90% sure he will not be traded, and I'll tell you why. If I'm the Angels, I'm asking for fucking everything, all of the prospects, everything. And if I'm the other team, I'm just like, I'm getting Shohei for 3 months, and he's going to free agency. He's not gonna not go to free agency. So it's kind of fucked in that aspect. So I've had a long think about it, and I just don't think it's possible. Now you're going to see reports for the next fucking 3 weeks or however long it is to the trade deadline. Every fucking day it's going to be Shohei Ohtani trade rumor shit, because that's what's going to get people clicking on articles like Buster Olney. I fucking can't stand that guy, Dabby Cab. He fucking you're muted. He fucking.
I asked him, I'm muted. That was just a test. I want to make sure everything was working.
Hey, you're good. See, here we go. We're rocking and rolling. We're back officially. But Buster only drops his report saying Yankees. They're Yankees. The Yankees don't have fucking dick shit to trade for Shohei Ohtani. There's a 0% chance the Yankees trade for Shohei Ohtani because they've got nothing worth that kind of shit. But we're gonna see all the articles about it for the next 3 weeks. Just know it is highly unlikely that dude gets traded. Highly. This guy, he coughs and then he
Fuck. I read something that said he wanted to go to Seattle.
I've been telling people for 2 years now that my fucking favorite destination for Shohei Ohtani was the Seattle Mariners. It was the best, the Ichiro connection. They've never had, well, until fucking Ken Griffey, obviously, but they'll have the best player in baseball, et cetera, et cetera. I would love that shit. They fight against the Astros, and it'd be interesting to go AL West and Mike Trout versus Shohei Ohtani very regularly in the regular season, but it's gonna be fun. I'm excited to talk about this whole slate. I appreciate everyone in here joining, bullshitting with us as well. I've got first half numbers written down for righties and lefties here for all the teams. So it will be interesting to go through that, talk about the big disparities on that side. And I'll just be very, very interesting. It's just very, very interesting. Darren Lyles, the Yankees do not have prospects. Get fucking Jason Domingo out of my fucking face. Get Anthony Volpe out of my fucking face. That's nothing. That's nothing. The Red Sox would have to trade both of their top 10 prospects to even have a conversation about Ohtani, and that would never happen. So there's just no chance. But let's get into it. Dabby, I'm excited. And also, for the second half, I am bringing back, because I need to look at this bullshit-ass record I have, bringing back the records on the screens here every show again. You see it?
That's where it ended?
First half, yeah, it was actually not that bad.
You were down 355 units at one point. It's not that bad.
I think that is an actual number. That is factual statements. But we clawed back. We had a great end of the half as well. We went I forget what the exact number was, 7-1 or something like that. It was a good time there.
Jose was asking me money to deposit in his account when he was here for the Rangers game.
Yeah, I actually asked for the money that he won in the booth, the money booth. He said, it was double the money I had in my bank account, and Dabby Cab just kept it all for himself because, whatever.
That was a good day, man. That was a good day. We won a lot of, I don't know how much you won. I won a good amount of money that day.
Yeah, you did. I won $50, so, I was fine.
There you go.
That's fine.
There you go.
I was enjoying my life, but it's very nice. And shout out to Rub Most, by the way, fucking cracking me up. He said, not going to lie, I was seething mad that Jimmy isn't here, but the intern host getting a haircut has eased my race. So shout out to you there, my man. It's fun. And yes, here's the 8-minute mark as well. And I'm sorry.
What does that mean? I got a lot of flack for that. What is the 8-minute mark? Does it mean that I can now say whatever I want?
I think it's a little bit of a YouTube myth. I'll be honest. People allegedly say that the bots will try to get you or you're non-monetize your videos because you cuss in the first 8 minutes.
Man, see, where's Razor at? I told you. Everyone was giving me shit when I said that. Yeah, he said fake news. There he is. Everyone was giving me shit when I said that because when I hosted your show, I was trying not to cuss. And I pointed out, I was like, I'm not going to cuss. And then 2 seconds later, I was like, motherfucker. And I was like, oh, shit.
That sounds about right. Honestly. But no, I think it's a little bit of YouTube fake news, as Razor says. I mean, again, Sharpie's show cusses all the time, and we've never had a problem with that. So, I don't know. I think it's not real either. But let's get after it here, Dabby Cap, because I'm excited about this slate. I've got some action here. You're looking at me very puzzled, so I'm a little worried.
No, I was reading what Moose said. He said something about, but I understand it now. He said Padres should deal Hader and Snell. I thought I read Harper. My brain was just saying Harper. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about Harper for Snell? Why would they ever do that?
But Moose, I think the Padres are going to be buyers. I think they're going to. I think they have a better chance of making the playoffs than the Mets, obviously. So I think the Padres aren't completely out of it yet, but those would be the guys that they trade, and that would be interesting. So that would be interesting. And the next 2 weeks for my baseball team will be very interesting as well. But let's talk Padres here, and let's talk about your guy, Yu Darvish. A little bit of sickness for him. Apparently lost a bunch of weight, but he's back. He threw, fine last start before the end of the All-Star break, or the beginning of the All-Star break, I should say. 5 innings, 7 hits, 3 earned runs against the Mets. It's not like, classic Yu Darvish, but it was fine, And we've got Christopher Sanchez in here as well. And he's been pretty good as of late as a decent lefty coming out of the rotation for them. 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run against Tampa Bay, which is a difficult thing to do. And he went 6 innings, 7 hits, 2 runs, one of them earned against the Washington Nationals, which are fine. So, but, in all things, I ultimately just cannot get behind this fucking Phillies team. So give me a second, Cav. My computer wants to update right now, and it's going to be reset my shit.
I can break down the game if you want to go away.
Well, I'm hoping my computer just doesn't fucking auto reset me, but we'll let it ride here. Do your thing. Tell me about Yu Darvish. Everyone knows I usually pass on Phillies games for whatever reason. I just don't like betting on them or against them. So let me know what you think here.
Yeah, Darvish hasn't been
your mic muted on StreamYard, unfortunately. I think your mic on the thing actually unplugged, maybe.
Motherfucker. See, I didn't even do that.
So, no. All right. Well, now you're muted on StreamYard again. Here we go. I wish I could say I was doing this.
I'm not doing that. Just so everybody knows, I'm not fucking doing that.
I wish I could say I'm doing it too, but I'm not. But go ahead.
All right. As everybody can tell, Darvish hasn't been great of late. He's given up at least 3 runs in 3 of his last 4 outings. This year he's got the 4.87 ERA and a 1.27 WHIP. He's still, that ERA is up, still able to keep the WHIP down to a 1.27. 5-6 record. He's thrown 85 innings this year. One thing he has done well, notoriously, is he's thrown well against the Phillies. He's 2-1 against the Phillies with over 44 innings pitched and a 2.23 ERA against them. And San Diego really had that disappointing first half, like you can say. But, towards the end of right before the break, they swept the Angels. They had 2 wins against the Mets. So they swept the Angels, went 2-3 against the Mets. Their offense seemed to be heating up a little bit too. We've said that a few times throughout the year, but they scored at least 5 runs in 5 of their last 6 games, which is impressive. In their last 10 games against the Phillies too, they're 6-4. So this is a team, they're a little bit comfortable with here. Machado's been just on fire of late, 16 RBIs in the month, which is outstanding. I know he's been inconsistent at times, but I think he's finally starting to catch fire. And then you look at the other side with the Phillies, you got Sanchez on the mound. He was outstanding in his last outing. You said that. He held the Rays down, which the Rays is a very potent offense, tough to hold down. He held them down to 1 run in 6 innings, got the no decision in that game. Phillies did end up winning, but he's been sharp, like you said. He doesn't have a lot of innings, though. He's got the 2.84 ERA, the 1.03 WHIP, 0-2 record. He's only thrown 25 1/3 innings. But he's had good command, only issued 4 walks throughout that. That's the one thing that I've really liked about what I've seen out of him. This is just a spot where, I pick and choose my spots with Darvish. For people that think I bet him all the time, this is probably his 17th start this year. I don't have that in front of me. I've only bet him 6 times. I don't bet him that often. But, with the way the Padres have been looking in recent games and with the fact that I know Darvish's mentality. So if some people wonder why I'm a fan of him, he is a gamer. Flat out, he's a gamer. You can't take that away from him. Even when he's had his worst seasons, like with the Cubs, he still shows up for big games. It's just what he does. And I think this is going to be a big game for him. And I've seen a ton of pretty much everyone. I've only seen people on the Phillies today, and I love that. I love seeing everybody on the Phillies. My favorite time to be on Darvish is when I'm on the opposite side of other people. So I'm going to go with him with that 2.23 ERA against the Phillies here. I'm going to take the money line in the first 5, and I'm going to back Darvish. I think the Padres get rolling here on this first game.
Dude, I completely forgot about Yu Darvish, the Chicago Cub. Whew, I don't
forget anything.
I forget everything. But I completely forgot about that. I just looked at his career stats again, and I was like, damn, he was there during the pandemic. I didn't even remember that. So yeah, shout out to Yu Darvish. But I've got nothing on this game. Let's shout out to the chat real quick.
2-1 against the 2-1 against the Phillies, ex-Cal. Not on this. He's 5-6 on the season.
Yes, ex-Cal. There you go. Shout out to Mike M joining us again. Mike M, the slap play of the day. Appreciate you, my guy. You guys made a great drop for him as well. I like what you guys did there as well. Oh, Turn me down a bit, Dabby, on your computer. Kelly McGinnis in here as well. Appreciate you for the compliment on the haircuts. I will admit, my mother enjoys that my hair is short. I hate my hair currently, but it's fine. We'll rock and roll. At least I've got a fade, and I'm looking presentable. But it's nice to see everyone as well. Hunter Engelart.
Hey, shout out Hunter.
Yeah, I've never made that guy laugh once in his life, and it's one of my vacations. One of my vacations. I just read Newt Worker in there. One of my life goals to make Hunter laugh one day, and I'll dream about that day one day. Newt Worker in here as well. Hunter in here, like I mentioned, he's saying you always shows out after the All-Star break, I feel like. Moose was also mentioning he calls his own games, and my guy Spenny had a good note about the weather here. It's 8-mile-an-hour winds blowing out. It's 8 to 9, I guess I should say. Excuse me, but it's interesting. Swish says that it's out weak wind factors, but turn me down a little more, Cap. But the Ballpark Pal, 31% home run rate today, plus 31% and plus 16% run rate. Ballpark Pal, very interesting, whatever. But just to let everyone know there, all the information we need. And by the way, shout out to our guy, Real Deal Prime, for a $2 Canadian, 2 loonies. I don't know what that is. $2 Canadian.
Toonie. It's a toonie. It's a loony and a toonie. A toonie is a fucking coin, bro. And you cannot throw it at strippers.
Okay, there you go. So 2 toonies. And he's shutting out Vlad Jr., the home run king. And by the way, it's hilarious that I was talking to, I think it was in the baseball chat or whatever it was. And we were like, this is going to be the perfect thing for Vlad Jr. Dennis Garcia was also on this as well. The dude has had launch angle issues the whole time, hitting the ball into the ground too much. And it was like, this is the perfect thing. He's just going to fucking elevate and hit dingers. And now I expect Vlad Jr. to have a big second half. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes out for him. Mr. Engelhardt here is on the first half under for 4
units. It's high, man. It's 5.5, which is crazy. He put that in the chat. That's the first thing I noticed when I looked at this game. I said, what the fuck is this number so high in the first half? And I thought to myself, Sanchez is vulnerable, man. He's been a very solid lefty. He's had good control. I think Sanchez is vulnerable. I'm not saying Darvish isn't also, but I think Sanchez is more vulnerable in this spot. I think he might get lit up.
Cool. Let's move on here. We spent a lot of time on that game. Miami Marlins, Baltimore Orioles, Sandy Alcantara versus Dean Kramer here. And it's been very interesting. And by the way, I got to mention markets and stuff as well. I got to get back into the rhythm of the markets here. And by the way, it's kind of what you're saying about the market there, Dabby Cap. Everyone on the Phillies, 83% of the bets, 80% of the money on the Philadelphia Phillies. And the total in that game went from 9.5, and it looks like it's going up to 10s, it seems. 63% of the bets and 63% of the money on the under. And it seemed like it's about to jump up there. So very interesting as well.
Yep.
Let's get into this game. Kramer versus Alcantara here. And I admittedly thought, man, I kind of like the Marlins here. I'm very interested. I thought Sandy pitched really well against the Red Sox. He went against the Braves that next start and got touched up for 4 runs, but that's the Braves. So I'm kind of like, what can we expect? Then he pitched well against the Phillies, 6 2/3, 8 hits, 1 earned run. And I'm like, Sandy back? We're going to see Sandy come back and pitch well here. But interestingly enough, this has moved towards the Baltimore Orioles. Last night it was minus 120. Now it's minus 133. And in Dean Kramer, respect to his name, his last start, 7 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, only 1 of them earned against the Yankees, obviously, who suck, but it's a good start. And the Miami Marlins, interestingly enough, and I didn't mention this for the previous game, against righties this year, they're 20th, 93 weighted runs created plus. And these are all obviously first half numbers. First half against lefties, they're 4th full season, 123 weighted runs created plus. So 20th against righties, 4th against lefties. One of the biggest disparities there. So always take note there. Orioles, about the same both ways. 9th, 106 weighted runs created plus against righties. Against lefties, 111. So they're 8th. I trust that this might be a lower scoring game, honestly. And it's funny I say that, Dabby, because the market here on the total here is just saying everyone's betting them on them over. It's actually 50-50 ticket split here, Dabby Cab, but 99% of the money on the over.
Yeah, I like.
Let's say it
like
opened at 8.5, or allegedly opened at 8, now at 8.5. I had it 8.5 last night. I like the under here, Dabby. What do you think?
Yeah, I do too. I mean, Sandy is so hard for me to look at because he's clearly still got the stuff. Like he can turn it around at any moment. Every time I think that he's going to, though, he just doesn't. Marlins have been great. They've won 5 of their last 7 games and 7 of their last 10 road games. They've been playing well offensively. They put up 15 runs in their last 3 games. And for anybody who's wondering why I'm still this All-Star break was short, man. It might seem like a long time for us since we've been here. These players, man, they put their head on the pillow twice and it's go time again. This shit, if you think people are refreshed or anything like that, you're wrong, okay? The people that, had a tough time in the first half of the season are dreading the second half of the season coming on, okay? It's just, it's a fucking grind. So, I think the Marlins could play well on offense in this game. They've been decent against right-handers. And Kramer hasn't looked great in his last couple starts. 12 runs in his last 3 starts. He also gave up 12 runs in his 3 home starts. I think he might have a little bit of a hard time slowing down the Marlins. And if I was going to go to the pitching edge here, it would be with the Marlins. So I'd probably be looking Marlins if I was going to bet this. I'm not betting it, but I would probably be looking Marlins.
I'm very interested in the under here. Even with 99% of the money on the over here, I'm very interested in the under. It's 8.5. I will double check my friends at Bet Online real quick to see if they have better odds than -105. They do -102 for the under 8.5 there. And as always, guys, if you're watching the show, maybe you're watching the show on the Pub Sports Radio website, because you can do that and you can comment right along. So definitely check out the Pub Sports Radio website. You can see us there. You can see all of our plays there. And if you scroll down, you'll see the Bet Online, Bovada, et cetera, book logo. Click that link. Sign up for an account today. Pub Sports is the promo code. You'll get a deposit match. It's a great time, and it helps out the pub. Great odds on Bet Online when it comes to baseball. So it's very nice here as well. Nuke Worker, I wish I had that expertise in CFL games. Maybe, I don't know if I have market moves for that either, but you can ask questions and I can give you opinions, and they'll be wrong, but who knows?
I can tell you this too, though, for your under. I mean, the offensive struggles for the Orioles have been real. In recent home games, they've only put up 3 runs in their last 3 home games. That's brutal. And Sandy's just been better and better. He's only given up 6 runs in his last 3 starts, 5 runs in his last 2 road starts. So I really think this could be a Marlins spot.
Yeah, I was on the Marlins. I like the Marlins too, but I'm passing on that side. I'm probably going to be on the under 8.5 -102. We'll talk about it at the end of the show. Mark Mint making unders great again over there, and I'm glad that Mark is joining the unders club here. Noli started the unders club. I joined a couple of weeks ago, and Mark's in there as well. It's nice to see the club's getting packed here with unders. Giants Pirates, next game on our slate here. Rich Hill, old Dick Mountain starting again here, and it's hilarious. First half 7-9. That's a fuckload of decisions he's getting either way. So shout to Dick Mountain. We kind of got what we expected from good old Rich. Just kind of meh. Good starts, bad starts. His last start against the Arizona Diamondbacks was 4 innings, 7 hits, 5 earned runs. 5 innings, 3 hits, 3 earned runs against the Brewers before that. I just never know really what to expect from him anymore. The Giants aren't that great against lefties either. 24th, 94 weighted runs created plus. So I was mildly interested in the Pirates here as a home dog. And I never really am interested in bullpen days. It's kind of rare when I am. I understand. I typically don't want to fade a team on a bullpen day either, because we've talked about this with Jimmy. Bullpen days, or I should say bullpen pitchers, relief pitchers in general, are getting better and better every year. So I just don't want to get with them or fade them there. So I passed on this game as well. Let's talk about the market real quick before I give it to you there, Dabby. Sidewise here, it's very interesting. Jeez. 61% of the bets on the Pirates, but only 6% of the money on them. 94% of the money and 39% of the bets on the Giants here.
That's because the Giants are a good baseball team and the Pirates aren't.
Yeah, I can understand that. You know, maybe it's pitching related as well because Ross Stripling finally gets announced, et cetera, et cetera. It took a while for that to happen, maybe. And you know, I had the Giants at minus 126 last night. They're still minus 126 now. I just can't really get there with either one of these teams. So I passed here. Dabby Cap, what'd you think?
This is a shit game. That's what I think. I know, you know, surprised a lot of people in the first half and had a big run, but I think it was just one of those baseball things. I don't think the Pirates are a good baseball team. I really don't. I think this is a spot where the Giants should be able to drive in runs off Hill. You know, I'm not going to go too deep into this, but I think this is a Giants spot. The only thing that gives me pause is minus 128. I would have put this in minus 145, minus 150 probably. But yeah, I would only look Giants here. I'm not going to go too deep into this and give a whole bunch of stats that you guys can find on your own. Giants are pass for me.
Billy Friedrich saying that he can see a resemblance in you and Ross Stripling.
I hear that, like, not from about Ross. I mean, just like you wouldn't even know the random people that I get told that I look like. It's just like so many random people. Lil Nicky's the best, though. Shout out Lil Nicky.
You know, admittedly, I don't know who Lil Nicky is.
It's fucking Adam Sandler's movie where he's like the son of the devil or something like that. And he's like, all like that.
Yeah, I've never heard of it.
Probably couldn't make that movie nowadays.
I have heard of Dabby Malone. Dabby Malone was here. He pitched really well. Shut our fucking ass up. Maybe you can't pitch better than him, I guess. Huh. Thanks.
There you go.
Let's talk about this next game. Diamondbacks, Blue Jays here. Ryan Nelson versus TBD, but TBD is now Jose Barrios. And Dabby, we've talked about this many a time.
Who's on the mound?
Jose Barrios.
Okay.
We talked about this many a time. This is one of our hardest debates when it's come to this baseball season. The Rangers making the playoffs. I still don't think.
I was thinking about it. You said debate. If we did a show every day, we'd fight each other at some point.
Probably. Yeah.
Maybe not. I wouldn't fight you because I wouldn't get mad enough. But I was just
thinking, like Skip and Shannon. You know, one of us would get sick of the other eventually.
Yeah, you're Skip. I'm Shannon.
That's probably true. So I'm okay with all this. I'm okay with that.
All right, go ahead.
And by the way, Rocco loves little Nicky Dabby. Rocco loves that. Someone make that Photoshop, please. That'd be very funny. But we were talking about the Rangers. I don't think they make the playoffs, et cetera, et cetera. That has forced me, that take, that opinion, that bet has forced me to be the biggest Toronto Blue Jays guy out there. Because the Toronto Blue Jays are essentially the team that are going to beat out the Rangers, for that last wild card spot. Because I think the Astros still win this division, as many people I'm sure agree with there. They're a half game back now. Or sorry, I was looking at the wrong division. They're 2 games back now. So it'll be very interesting how that unfolds. But I think 3 teams in the AL East make it, which means I need, well, technically, I guess I need the Yankees, too, to pick up their shit, or the Boston Red Stockings. But I ultimately am rooting for one of those teams to knock out the Rangers here, which is forcing me to root for the Blue Jays here. And I can see the path for the Blue Jays to have a big second half here. I can really see it. I just mentioned that I think Vladdy's going to pop off here in the second half because he's finally learning how to fucking launch angles the ball, et cetera, et cetera. I think the pitching has gotten better, and they just need to add in their bullpen, and we'll see how that goes because I can't trust the Blue Jays to make any smart moves here.
You don't think the Rangers are going to, make, like, shout out to our guy Billy, you don't think they're going to add any depth to their pitching?
Well, the thing is, they need an entire bullpen. Their whole bullpen is horrible. Like everyone in there is fucking trash. Besides Aroldis Chapman, who is known for giving up the biggest walk-off home runs in the last like fucking 5 years, 10 years. You know?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. It'll be interesting. I'm not gonna like when you say we debate it. Like I'm not.
You're a Rangers fan. You can say it.
I'm not a Rangers fan, and I'm not completely sold they make the playoffs. But if I was to bet, I would say that I think they do. Their lineup is just outstanding, which is why I'm interested to hear you talk about that under you're betting on the first 5 today. But let's roll. I digress.
I am, yes. I didn't have much on this game because Barrios did just get announced here. Let me know if you guys have a line for this game officially here because I'm going to refresh. Oh, I've got it now. Minus 170 for the Toronto. That's fucking ridiculous. Minus 170. That's on Bet Online. I would love to see RotoWire here because I saw, again, I did not watch much of the All-Star game. I did notice that Corbin Carroll like walked out, and I don't know if he played. Is he playing? I mean, RotoWire expected lineups are bullshit to me usually, but is expected in there, so that's crazy. That is crazy. So I passed on this game, Dabby. Did you have any thought on this game? You did it again.
Bucker. Blue Jays have won 4 of their last 5 games. They've been playing well offensively in that stretch. 16 runs in their last 3 games. I think they're going to play well offensively here. I mean, I think the line's a little big, but I'd probably be looking towards the Blue Jays, maybe Blue Jays first 5 if I was going to bet it. You got Barrios at home, so that's something you can count on. The Diamondbacks have lost 4 of their last 6 games, so they're slumping a little bit here right now. They've been scoring runs still, though. That's one thing the Diamondbacks can do is put up runs. What's the total on this game?
Total on Bet Online here. And by the way, it's 9. I absolutely thought that Corbin Carroll was going to hit the IL when I saw him take that swing and hurt his shoulder. I was like, oh, fuck. That looked nasty. And he's just back. That is crazy. But yeah, I understand why they're minus 170, the Blue Jays, but it's high. Ryan Nelson sucks, but it's high.
It's high because they want you to have to bet the run line, and this could be a 1-run game like so many baseball games are. That's why if I was going to bet the Blue Jays here, I'd take the run line in the first 5, not the full game.
Yeah. It's interesting. That's very interesting there.
Shout out to our guy, Mal. He said he's on the Jays first 5. Yeah, I think the Jays first 5 run line is a good bet. That's the only bet that I'd personally make in this game.
Yeah. Hey, if Corbin Carroll's in this lineup, I'd be very interested to bet the over, like Kelly just mentioned, and I'd be semi-interested in the Diamondbacks here. But I wanted nothing to do with this game, honestly. So I pass here. Selfishly, I'm rooting for all the AL East teams so they can knock out the Rangers. So we'll talk about them very soon as well. Dodgers.
Why do you hate the Rangers so much?
Because I bet them to not make the playoffs at plus 300.
Yeah, but you hated them before you made that bet.
No, I just there's no hate. I just everyone, blowing the Rangers. They're the most public team. Fucking
bro, you're a Red Sox fan who lives in Texas.
Yes.
Shut up.
But the thing was, everyone thought they were really good. I just don't think they're that good. We all knew that the Rangers were not going to win this division. We knew this, and then good luck facing everyone in the AL East. On top of that, they have 2 good starters, and then Dane Dunning, who we'll see how he does in the second half. I'd be very interested to see if he can put this together for a full season.
Look, I've said this a lot. Maddox is doing something with their pitchers. That's all it is. Maddox.
Yeah, and Bruce Bochy's a fucking great manager. The exact opposite of what Tony La Russa was.
What people don't understand is it's a fine line, bro. When you get up to that talent level where they're at, it is a fine line. Most of it is right here. It's right here. It's not in the fucking stuff that the pitcher has. It's between the fucking head. And if he's got these guys thinking right, I mean, there's something to it.
I will say this. If the Rangers miss the playoffs, it's not going to be like by fucking 50 games. It's going to be close.
There's a reason why, and I'm not even just talking about them. I'm talking about any pitcher. There's a reason why it's like you'll see people that have just fucking absolutely electric stuff and can't get outs. And then you see people like fucking Elder who throw 88 miles an hour and fucking deal nonstop, or Kobe Lewis back in the day. Like, it's a fine line, bro. It's a very fine line.
Shout out to Dabby Malone, too, for throwing 88 and dealing. Let's go Dodgers Mets here. And by the way, there are some, if you look on RotoWire today, you'll see red all over the board here. And it looks like a little East Coast rain. Miami, Baltimore, a little rain there, allegedly. Here we have rain. Chicago, Boston, Kansas City, Tampa Bay, all are in red and RotoWire. So a little rainy there, but we're going to cap the games nonetheless. This is, I thought, the most interesting game of the slate here. The most interesting line move. For me here, Dabby, I saw Dodgers at minus 125 last night, and I was like, man, how do I not bet the Dodgers? I was very interesting. Julio Urias in his last start. I watched it because I think I was on the Pirates or something. I don't remember what I was on exactly. I was on the under. And he gave up 2 runs immediately, and I was like, fuck. And then he locked in. And even the announcer said he's locked in. He looks like he's completely back from his hamstring. And I want to back Julio Urias in the second half. I think he's going to have pitched well here. But the market screaming Mets, apparently. Like I said, this was minus 125 last night. I had it at minus 128, actually, as I wrote it down. And now you've got minus 118 Dodgers. Verlander, we all know him, all know his prowess, et cetera, et cetera. So I guess, but market-wise here, let's talk about it. 32% of the bets and 66% of the money on the Mets. And honestly, that's like an ideal spot for me. If I wanted to bet a side, I would want to be on that 30-70 spot. So that's kept me off the game, unfortunately. I like the Dodgers here, but I don't want to take that risk against the market, I guess. It doesn't all correlate, as my guy Jimmy would say. Shout out to Ron Crawford. His spreadsheet play of the day is the Dodgers as well. Just no fear. And shit, I wish I was on it with you, Ronnie, honestly. It's interesting here. And by the way, Johnny Gunn saying that, depending on what market they'd open, it opened at evens there. I had it at plus 107 last night. Johnny Gunn's on Bovada. So let me know where you had it there. It's tough for me here, Dabby. I wanted the Dodgers, like I said. They're 4th against righties full season, 5th against lefties. The Mets, who are out of it, I think we can all kind of say that they're 100%, well, not 100%, but they're not going to make the playoffs this year. There's a better chance of them being sellers than buyers, which is very interesting, especially coming into the season. If you would have said that, that would have been crazy, but it's very interesting. Billy's saying both pitchers have historically great numbers against the other team. I think the Mets find a way to blow this game late.
I can see that.
Interesting here. And let's talk about the total here, because obviously both these pitchers have historically great numbers. You'd want to bet the under here. 66% of the bets and 73% of the money on the under there. Allegedly, according to Action, it opened at 7.5. I don't believe that. I had it 8.5 as well last night, and still 8.5 here. So I probably take the under here, maybe a first 5 under here. But I don't know here. And I don't know how to say your name, Nilo. I'll call you just Nilo right there. He says, as a Dodger fan, I hate Jose or the Julio Urias on the road here. I'm going to look up his home road splits.
All right. So I'm going to say this while you keep going, and I'll give it back. But
yeah, go ahead.
Verlander, I know a lot of people saw him start, rough. He's got the 3.6 ERA, 3-4 record. And he's 41 now. So people love to hate on. Look, it ain't the same 41 you're used to. That's fucking HGH and every other human growth hormone that's fucking, not able to be tested for in somebody's body. And he's one of the best pitchers of all time, regardless of how you feel about what he's done to stay healthy and stay in the game. He's one of the best pitchers of all time. And over his last 3 starts, he's been absolutely fucking dominant. He's only given up 2 runs. He only gave up the 2 runs. And that was after back-to-back shutouts, too. So, he gave up both of those 2 runs in those 3 starts in the last game. And it came after back-to-back shutouts. That's over 18 innings of work. He's only given up the last 2 runs. And he's experienced. This isn't coming into the, where people's innings are starting to get up and eat at them. This isn't something that's going to fucking bother him whatsoever. So with the 3.6 ERA and everybody talking about how bad he's been, you better be careful because he's 2 more starts away from that shit being down close to 2 again, and everybody being like, oh, yeah, it's Verlander. He's one of the best pitchers ever. Who cares if he's 41? You're just late. I mean, it's there. It's already there. You're just late.
Home road splits for Julio Urias. Home, 2.15 ERA on the road, and 8.44. So my statement is now amended to I will be betting Julio Urias in the second half at home. And by the way, they were mentioning it for both guys. Verlander, home, 37 innings pitched, a 2.19 ERA. On the road, a 5.18 ERA. So there you go. Very interesting. Yeah. Again, after all this, I'd have to bet Mets first 5. Honestly, I wouldn't want to trust the bullpens here of either squad, really, because the Dodgers bullpen is horrible as well, as we know. Not horrible, but just not good. So I'm actually going to write Mets first 5 on my card and see if I get there at the end of the show.
Look, this isn't something that is a number people can quantify, and so not many people appreciate it. So I'll be quick with it. But all Verlander is locating his fucking changeup away from being the same Verlander that he's always been. I read what Moose said. His K rate is plummeting. He's not getting his changeup over. He's missing low and out. It's just fading off, and it's not missing by much, man. It's not missing by much. If he can get the changeup back, he'll be fine.
All right, first 5 money line -115 at our friends at Bet Online. Very interesting there, and it's interesting. Again, I like the games where I honestly I come in on one side. And there's so much evidence towards the other side that I flip. So I don't hate that at all. Let's go to our next game here, Dabby. Very fun matchup again. We've got the Brewers versus the Reds here. The division matchup again. And, maybe I'm just betting into the tropes. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a big dumb dummy. I'm betting into the tropes. I give me the older veteran team coming off the All-Star break here. And I took the Brewers last night, -119. Corbin Burns on the bump versus Graham Ashcraft. Ashcraft, who got fucking destroyed against these Brewers earlier this season. But unfortunately for me, the market moving heavily towards the Cincinnati Reds. Even on the graphic, it's wrong. -115 now for the Brewers here, -105 for the Reds. So just moving towards Cincinnati there. His last start, like I mentioned, against the Milwaukee Brewers, 4 innings, 9 hits, 10 earned runs there for the Ashman. But he's pitched well in his return after the IL, 6 innings, 7 hits, 1 earned run against the Nationals. But for what he was doing before, it's a major, major improvement. So I'm on the Brewers full game money line already, -119. Bet it last night. I was really gonna I wrote down first 5 full game Brewers here, but I can't move against the Reds now. Maybe they're just Joe Public's on them and the line's moving that way, but it's interesting. And you know what? I can't even say Joe Public isn't on them because it seems like they're on the fucking Brewers. Ticket splits here: 59% of the bets, 86% of the money on the Brewers, and the lines move towards the Reds. So not good, to say the least. Totals wise here, 76% of the bets on the under and 63% of the money on the under here. It seems like the Ashcraft is going to have a good start here, and the Reds might be in on this game. By the way, Reds numbers offensively, we obviously know they ended the first half on super highs. Full first half numbers against righties and lefties, 99 were against righties. That's 17th best. And 15th against lefties, 102 weighted runs created plus. So pretty average full season. I understand, again, they were on a hot streak, but let's see if it carries over here. I like the Brewers today. I think they win. And give me the more veteran team here.
Yeah, for sure. Before I start breaking this down, shout out to our guy, where was it? Mal up in this chat. He asked me, it said Donnie Burger, and shout out Kelly also. I got the Donnie Burger in the plane right now. This shit's really good. I never had it until right now. So
I thought we were talking about like Wahlburgers, like Donnie Wahlberg and shit. I was like, you eating? What are we talking about here?
It's all good, man. Look, I mean, it's not like I thought you'd know what I was talking about, so it's okay. Maybe you'll get to try this though, because we'll see each other soon. Wait, what's the date? I'm gonna be in San Antonio for that card thing, but that's like a whole month away, right?
I think that's in August, but yeah, next time we'll see each other would be in September.
Oh, okay. Well, Ashcraft here. His worst start was against the Brewers. That was June 3rd, 2023. This year, he gave up 10 runs. All of them were earned. 4 innings, gave up all 10 earned runs. Just absolute shit show of a game. He gave up 9 hits. I think it was 4 walks. I don't know why I didn't type that in. 4 walks, if I remember correctly. Just a shit show here. And you got Burns on the mound. If you would have put this matchup earlier in the year, it would have been minus 180, minus 185. Like, if you would have put it before the Reds turned on. All that being said, what worries me about Burns is his ability to throw strikes and control the strike zone. His walks could be an issue here against the Reds. That would be the only thing that would worry me. But if you're asking me where the pitching edge goes to, it definitely goes to the Brewers in this game. I don't hate the bet at all. I get why you're on the Brewers.
I should have waited to make the bet until now because I love Rocco Rogers' Ashcraft over 2.5 ERAs. Love that bet. So you know what? I'll move on. Everyone knows my bet on that full game money line, and I'll be very interested to see how the Ashman does here as well. So let's move on here. White Sox Braves, obviously big favorite Braves, and shout to Troy Torrance. I saw him tweet out that he's on the minus 1.5 here as well. And I've got the ham sweats, T Breezy. I wish I had the ham sweats. I am a little hungry right now, T Breezy, but that's funny. Shout out to you, my man.
Jose sweats when he starts getting hungry.
Yeah, I just start thinking about food. I'm just like, I just need it so bad. I sweat.
Jose only sweats from his upper lip and his ears. So that's how I knew that Musgrove wasn't cheating, because I was like, nobody sweats from their ears. And Jose was like, I do.
True. Thank you. Let us know what you guys have in this game, because I don't have shit. I would be very interested to see what you guys have to say. Like Joe Yurkov is saying, is the Braves line's too high. Kopech is respectable, and so are the Sox. I don't know. I just don't know what to do with Michael Kopech. This is his return from the IL. I forgot what it was. I think it was a shoulder. I didn't write that down, but he's returning off the IL. His last start against the Angels was fine. I'm worried here, Dabby, because I just have that memory of betting Eduardo Rodriguez first start off the IL with a finger injury. He comes back and gets shelled. And now am I really going to fade the Atlanta Braves here, the best offense in baseball, the team I think is by far, like, it's not even close, the best team in baseball. I think the team is going to walk through the World Series. But, Kopech, whatever. I don't believe.
Yeah, I don't, I talk about pitching and how it's all between the head. He doesn't have it, man. He's not mentally there because he's just not. Like, his stuff is there. His mental capacity, he has none. He's very, very small when it comes to that. And I think this line is ridiculous at minus 270. But at the same time, I'm not fucking betting against the Braves. But this line is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, it's just not. It's not something I can go with. And I could cap this to make it sound okay for the White Sox here at this number. But, the Braves putting up 5.61 runs per game this year. They hit 271 in the first half. I'm not, especially not with Kopech on the mound. I'm not going against them.
Robert Franklin, I wish I could say this is a reverse jinx or anything. This is Cab, do you think the Braves are the best team in baseball? Is there another team that you think is up there?
I think the Braves are the best regular season team in baseball, and it's not even close. When you get to the playoffs, pitching matters so much and things change. I don't think they have necessarily the best rotation in baseball.
They don't have the best rotation in baseball. And we'll see. Obviously, they still have to get healthy. It's hilarious to me that the Braves are doing this, and they just throw like Jared Schuster, go out there and learn how to throw in the major leagues. It doesn't matter how well you do. It's crazy. It's crazy. So shout out to Rocco dropping his knowledge in here. Morton to get a win. Braves run line and some team totals there. A little Sean Murphy.
Is it really plus 110 for him to get a win?
Yeah, he has to throw 6 innings. You know, that's one of those hurdles.
You have to throw 5 innings to get a win unless they change that.
I think it's 6.
Well, it's 5 unless they changed it.
All right. Well, the chat will let us know here shortly because
it was 5 when I played like not that long ago. But if they changed it, like some rules have changed, maybe you're right. But it's 5 unless they changed it.
We'll see what the chat says here. I'm not going to argue with it. I think it's 6, but I don't care because I want to talk about this next game, Dabby Cab. Guardians Rangers. As always, I enjoy talking about the Rangers with you. They ended their last. It's 5. God, I thought it was 6. Why did I think it's 5 or 6? I don't know. Whatever. I'm confused. I thought it was 5 or 6. Excuse me. Rangers here. They ended their last 10 games 3-7. I've always said I don't like, or I've said for a while now, I don't like teams that are offensively like. That's it. They have to rely on their offense, and that's all they've got. Because there's going to be a time when your offense goes cold for 2 weeks or whatever. And then what? What do you do then? And maybe that was that stretch of the Rangers. They went 3-7, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know here, Dabby. It's very interesting because the Guardians will always be underdogs against everyone because they're just not that name brand team. But this is going to be a division winner. And maybe this is a playoff matchup, by the way. This could easily be a playoff matchup. But I really think the Rangers offense, will take a second to get booted up here. I mean, half those fuckers were in the All-Star game. So no break for them, no off time for them. But who did get off time? John Gray. John Gray, who we talked about this when we were at the game against the Rockies. He's having a career year. But I think at the end of the first half of the
season, of people are for the Rangers. So it's either fucking luck or it's Maddox. It's one of the two, and I don't know if luck's a real thing. So
and hey, it's halfway through the year, so we still have a second half. We'll see how it ends. But I think John Gray was fatiguing. I think he was wearing down a bit, and I think the All-Star break is going to help him out a ton. And I think he pitches well here, Dabby Cab, and that's easy to say because obviously the Guardians' offense is not that impressive. 22nd against righties, 27th against lefties this first half. So I like the first 5 under here, and I think Savali can pitch well. Savali, whose last 2 starts were electric. He's been great since he came off the IL. 7 innings, 2 hits, no earned runs against the Royals. 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run against the Cubs here. Market-wise, also made me feel like this is an under game here, Dabby Cab. 80% of the bets and 57% of the money on the under. A little worrisome. That number has actually changed a little bit, I guess. The money has dropped on the under, but
say the money on that one more time.
80% of the bets and 57% of the money on the under. So 43% of the money and 20% of the bets on the over here. So there's bigger bets on the over now. But I think that Savali can get after it here. And by the way, it's open 8.5 and stayed 8.5. Market-wise here as well, another interesting factor here, Dabby. 61% of the bets and 96% of the money on not the Texas Rangers, as you would think, the Cleveland Guardians.
If all that money's on the Guardians and the line keeps dropping, the Rangers' full game is just probably the money line would just be the bet. That's the first thought off the top of the head right there.
Well, I had this at minus 148 for the Rangers last night, now minus 138. And now as I look on Bovada real quick, sorry, I'm not, and it's now minus 142. So it's popped back up here a little bit for the Rangers.
I saw it drop just a little while ago. Man, look, I don't like whether you think it or not. I don't like going against you. I don't like going against Hunter. I don't like being on the opposite side of people here. I got a good number on the first 5 over in this game, and I jumped it as soon as I got it because I think that line has changed. I got a minus 108 on the first 5 over, and now it's showing that at the same place you'd have to get a over 5 now. So I got 4.5, minus 108 on the over here. I agree with what you talked about with Gray. This has been best season of his life. He's never done this, and I don't think he would keep it up. I've been saying I didn't think he would keep it up. And look at his last couple starts. Let's see, where is this? His last 3 starts: 0-3 with a 4.76 ERA, a 1.53 WHIP, 7 walks, 10 strikeouts, just over 17 innings. And he comes into this game with 0-1 record against the Guardians, 4.5 ERA against them. I know the Guardians aren't the best hitting team, but I think this could kind of be a Guardian spot. And anytime I look the other way against the Rangers, it makes me just want to go with the over, especially early in the game. So I'm on the first 5 over here. I think this is like I said, a spot maybe for Cleveland, but after hearing the money and everything, it's making me think Rangers. So I'm staying off a side here. I'm just going to go with the first 5 over 4.5. I know the Texas bats have slowed down and started to show cracks. I get it. But they're really good fucking hitters from top to bottom. I watch a lot of baseball. It's not a fan thing. Their lineup is damn near as good as anybody else's as far as like offense goes.
No, we get it. You're a Rangers fan. I got the first 5 under 4.5 at -105, and I bet the Guardians money line yesterday at +130. So, or last night, I guess I should say. Now it's down to -115, +119 around there. So I'm going to be very, very interested into seeing how the Rangers start off. And by the way, don't worry, Dabby Cab, because the Rangers are apparently very interested in trading for Lance Lynn. Lance Lynn's gonna fucking.
I do not want fucking Lance Lynn. I'm sorry. I'm just this chat cracks me up. Mike dropped an interesting stat, and then Moose said, "What the fuck kind of stat is that?" Mike said, let me read this. Teams who played the last series versus the Nats and our favorites in the first game, the next series are 10-3-3 first half and 11-5 straight up. Texas spot. I would never know where to find something like that. I guess you just have to track it yourself.
You are jumping through hoops there. That is hilarious. And by the way, Nutflush in the chat. By the way, beautiful pictures. Nutflush, Jimmy, their family is hanging out. Nutflush's beautiful estate he's got over there. It looks lovely.
Hell yeah.
It looks lovely. But he said, just my opinion, after the All-Star break, teams that are in the basement generally will come off a vacation and not excited to get back to work. We have a small window of opportunity to smash some games. So Nutflush saying that we got to beat up on those last place teams that don't give a fuck.
So he's right. He's absolutely right. That's what I was trying to say earlier. He just said it more elegantly. When I was saying if you think this break is going to regenerate the people that are down, you're wrong. They're going to come back even worse. That's what I was trying to basically say right there. So,
well, we'll talk about those teams here shortly. But I am on my favorite team's in it. My bets here, like I said, Guardians full game money line +130 and the first 5 under here. Dabby on the first 5 over here, so it should be a fun game. It's very fun when I bet Rangers first 5 unders. I know I'm like there's a 90% chance that Dabby's on the first 5 over in this game, so it's very fun as always. Now let's talk about my favorite team, the Boston Red Stockings versus the Chicago Cubs here. A nice trip to Wrigley Field. First time for the Red Sox in quite a while, I'm sure. Brian Bacho versus Kyle Hendricks. And I shockingly do not have a bet in this game. And admittedly, I wanted to take the first 5 under here. But I don't know if I trust Kyle Hendricks enough here. And I'll say this is my Red Sox rant time. The next 2 weeks will decide what the Red Sox will do with their season. Because they've beat up on the fucking Oakland A's here and given us a decent enough record to, we're only like a game back of the wild card. We're 2 games back of the wild card now. And I'm like, maybe. And if the Red Sox can put together a decent 2 weeks here, they're going to be buyers, which is shocking to say, as I thought they were going to be sellers. I would honestly much rather the Red Sox be sellers because I don't know how good they're going to be, but it's okay. I just don't know what to do with the offense here, Dabby Cab. That's my main concern with the Red Sox here. Full season against righties and lefties, 11th against righties, 9th against lefties. So it seems like they're the 10th best offense in the league. Kendricks has been good. I say that with a confused, kind of look on my face or whatever, because at home we kind of know him as a dog, but his last 2 starts on the road, 5 2/3, 10 hits, 4 runs against the Yankees. That's not great. But at Milwaukee, 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, one of them earned against the Brewers, and a good start there. I don't know what it is yet. He's not had that many starts under his belt, but he's got a 3.8 home ERA compared to a 2.53 road ERA. So I can't trust him enough to hold down a Red Sox offense. Rocco Rogers is back on his dude again. And by the way, what a great bet this is.
I figured you'd be on the Red Sox here. I don't have anything on this game, but I thought I would lean Red Sox here, and I understand why he's backing him. I mean, he's been phenomenal.
Oh, yeah. He's the best Red Sox developed pitcher since John Lester.
I don't know about that, but he's been great, man. His last 5 opponents, he's only given up 7 runs. So in his last 5 starts, 7 runs, and that's over 34 and 2/3 innings. That's just great. Cubs hit 241 versus right-handed pitchers. And they've this month in July, they've been off to a terrible start, hitting 225 as a team. I don't think this is a good spot for the Cubs at all. I think this would be a Red Sox spot, which is why I'm kind of shocked you're not betting it.
Yeah, and again, I think I'd just rather stay off the offense until I see it, I guess. I just don't I don't have my full trust in the Red Sox offense, essentially. I know that Bayo's going to go out there and pitch well. And I know everyone's already locked in here with like overs and Red Sox smash or Nasty Nate. Rocco Rogers on first 5 there. Bayo over outs, excuse me. And again, I love that bet that he made. Bayo over 17 and a half outs, and Djokovic money line. I'm guessing that's Wimbledon final. I'm assuming there. So that's an awesome bet. And yeah, over 17 and a half outs for Bayo, minus 165 now. What a fucking dog that guy is. What a fucking dog. Big O, I think if the Red Sox have a good 2 weeks, they're going to trade for people. But I think for sure, like Adam Duvall is going to get traded. So I think it'll be very, very, very interesting there as well. So I don't know what's going to happen. I'm scared. I'm scared, Dabby Cab. So I'm going to church and I'm passing.
Yeah, I got nothing on this. I kind of said, I just telling you, I'd look Red Sox. I talked about how the Cubs, they're not hitting this month, not really doing great against right-handers on the season, and your guy's on the mound here. So I don't know. And Hendricks, I never know what I'm going to get out of him. So his last start wasn't very good. Like I said, I never know what I'm going to get out of him. I think maybe the under. I know there's a lot of people saying over. I think maybe, but I don't know. Red Sox might put it up. Maybe even a Red Sox team total or something.
By the way, shout out to Nut Flush Allen. 22 years marriage. The anniversary is today. Shout out to Nut Flush Allen.
That's like as old as Jose.
Yeah, it's basically me. Yeah. Nutflush, give me some advice on how to ask a woman to marry you. I'd love to hear that advice, Nutflush. Just, for reasons. Let's move on here. Let's go Tampa Bay, Kansas City Royals. This might be the shortest breakdown on the card. The Royals are dog shit, and the Rays are very good, and they've got Tyler Glass now on the bump, who has faced these Royals already. 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run. I kind of expect more of the same. It's minus 290. It was minus 300 last night. I thought, this is not going to be a minus 300 fade that I'm going to enjoy doing if I do it, but I don't think I'm going to get there. I kind of expect the Royals to get smashed here. Like Nutflush was saying, like you were saying, these guys probably not the most excited to get back to work.
I think the only way that I could bet this, which I'm not, but I think the only way that I could or would be maybe a Rays team total. I bet it's like fucking 5.5, which is probably high as shit. But yeah, I think the Rays are going to be chomping at the bit because you got to remember, I know they won that last game on Sunday against the Braves, which was a big win for them, but they dropped 7 straight games before that. So they got to be chomping at the bit here to get out. And, they got fucking Marsh and the Royals to start. It's not a spot where I'd want to be if I was the Royals right here against the Rays. It's very, very, very rare that I look at something that's close to minus 300 and say, I get it here. It makes sense. I'm not betting it, but maybe look at a Rays team total.
Agreed. By the way, it's funny that sometimes like Lucky Lefty saying, Jose, what the fuck? Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about there. He could be talking about something 20 minutes we talked about prior or something I just said. I just never know. And I think it's funny just thinking about like, what did I say? What could I have said that prompted that response? And it's just a variety of things, and it makes me laugh here. By the way, I still cannot believe it's champing at the bit.
Yeah, I heard that, and somebody explained
Jimmy
it.
says it. Yeah, Jimmy's the gospel teller about that.
Yeah, but he says "oh" like it's a word, like the letter. So,
wow, you're slandering Canadians.
I'm just joking. I lived in Canada, man. I'm telling you, every time it could be just a fucking routine pop fly to the infield. Because I played on that Kelowna Falcons team, and there's no baseball on the west coast of Canada. It's all on fucking, you got the Blue Jays. It's all on the other side. So we'd have 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 people at these games, even though it was just a summer league team. And every time there was a fucking pop fly hit, oh, like you just hear this fucking oh come out of the crowd. Like,
good.
Fuck.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and I'm not making it up. So this isn't me hating. Like literally, there was like this roar of oh when the ball went up in the air.
Oh man, champing at the bit. And by the way, thanks. Not Flush will talk me through it. Don't worry, it won't be for another year and a half. I still have to get a ring and still be in a relationship too. That would help as well. By the way, no, Lucky Lefty, I need all the help I can get. The baby pad is still on my neck, Lucky Lefty. It's there, my man. I'm sorry. Let's move on from this game because I had nothing. You had nothing, correct?
No.
Nothing for both of us there. Let's go to, as I flip my page, Washington Nationals versus the St. Louis Cardinals. The Cardinals, who are officially our sellers. And never forget, I told Jimmy to bet them to win the division. One of my great calls. Yep, great call by me. Versus Trevor Williams here, the ace of the Nationals, who didn't pitch in the playoff, or not the playoff game, the All-Star game. I have nothing here as well, Dabby Cap. Trevor Williams was announced this morning, so I didn't cap him last night. Miles Michaelis is probably the most reliable pitcher on the Cardinals to bet on, but I typically still don't want to do that. I actually told myself I was going to look at the Cardinals cap sheet on Spotrac just to see who they can be trading here because they're obviously, like I just mentioned, they said themselves they're focusing on next year. So I wanted to see here who is a free agent next year because that will be very interesting to say the least here. Jordan Montgomery, he'll be on the free. I think he'll be on the trade market. Jack Flaherty is going to be a UFA in 24. Fucking whoever, Drew Verhagen, and who's hurt, I guess, and Chris Stratton, Jordan Hicks. Another guy, a hard thrower. We all know him. He will be on the trade market most likely. Jesus, they have Steven Match for another fucking 2 years after this at $12.5 million. Good fucking God. What horrible trash that is. I had nothing on this game. So what do you have?
I mean, I didn't have a pitcher when I capped it. Nutflush said he's got something to share about the San Francisco in there. But yeah, I didn't cap this game with the pitcher. So it was tough for me to give like exactly. But, Michaelis, like you said, he's been a decent person to back. Maybe look at a -1 in the first 5 if you want to back him. I backed him a lot last year. I've only got behind him once this year, and he cashed for me. But he's been somebody that's been touchy. Like I don't know what you're ever going to get out of him. So I passed on this game, especially since I didn't have the pitcher.
I agree. By the way, like Mike is saying in the chat there, I have to double check myself when I'm talking here and you don't say anything for a little bit, Dab. You have to double check myself and see, am I muted? But I'm not, thankfully. 83% of the bets and 99% of the money on the over here. Rocco said it opened at 8 and it's gone up to 9.5. I have it at 8.5, opening up to 9.5 there. So, yeah, it's interesting there. If I had to make a selection on the total, I probably would bet under. At 9.5. But I wanted nothing to do with it. So, again, I passed on this game. I respect the Cardinals enough not to back them here. So, I want nothing to do with this game. And by the way, Paul Trippy says that you pitch better than Steven Matz, too. So, we can find you a major league job. We can find you. They're available. Let's talk New York Yankees, Colorado Rockies here. When the fuck are the Yankees ever in Colorado? This is a weird series here. Gomber versus Rodon making his second start. Rodon looked pretty good in his first start, 5 1/3, 4 hits, 2 runs there. Of course, the Yankees offense didn't contribute shit, and they lost 0-3 there. But Dabby, this is the worst team against lefties in the season. 30th against lefties, 64 weighted runs created plus. Against righties, they're 28th, 85 weighted runs created plus. So, newsflash, the Rockies are bad. So I ultimately wanted to take a Yankees -1.5 something, but I couldn't get there because I don't trust the offense, even with the thin air and Coors, et cetera, et cetera. And -1.5 was like super juice, so I'd have to take like a 2 or something like that. So on top of that, I didn't want to do that either. But after looking at it, and like I said, I opened last night at 11.5, and now down to an 11. I should have bet the under here. Because I guess I don't trust the Yankees to put up that many runs here. And I expect Rodon and the Yankees bullpen to pitch well and shut down the Rockies here. So I thought I should have bet the under 11.5 last night. And now I'm probably not going to move on the 11 here. So what do you think?
I'm not. I wouldn't bet it because it's not how I do things. But I think maybe the Rockies at plus money would be something to take a shot on here. You look at their home and road splits. It's something we know, but the Rockies are hitting just fine at home compared to just 234 on the road. Gomber's won all 3 of his last 3 starts. He's had an ERA of 3 in that span there. So for as bad as he is, he's been better his last 3 games. And the Yankees, like you said, their offense is just struggling. Not something that I really am looking to get behind here. Everything here caps this towards the Rockies for me. It's just not something I'm jumping out to bet.
Yeah, I think that, and Rodon, I think will go like 6 to 5 innings, Joe. Obviously depending on how he goes, but I think 6 innings because he went 5 1/3 last time. He pitched plenty of rehabs, and he's dominated them. So I can see why you guys are on the Colorado spot. Kelly, by the way, dropping a Colorado +1.5 at plus money. That's what he or she is at. I don't want to assume Kelly, but I don't know. Yeah, I guess I agree with you guys. It's a pass for me here as well. I'd lean under here. And by the way, Mike M, I love Mike M's stats here. The Yankees starting a series on a Friday, 1-9 straight up. 1-9 straight up. So shout out to you, Kelly. And Kelly, a guy. Shout out to you, Kelly, my dude. Vitalis looking at the over. I'm glad I'm not on it. And by the way, he also dropped this one as well. Teams as a favorite coming off of a Cubs series, 10-5 New York spot here. Very interesting. These coming off of a different opponent stats here, Mike. I'd love to see how this cashes or how it goes for you there. So I saw Joe Yurkovich's 69 pitches last time out. 69 pitches and only 5 1/3 innings pitch is fucking crazy. You expect that to be higher, a lot higher. But no thanks for me. Nothing for me here. Let's go to Houston Astros, LA Angels. A big game for our guy, BJ. BJ makes gigantic bets, and his 2-unit best bet is on the Astros, fading the great Shohei Ohtani here, who we saw Shohei Ohtani in his last outing come out with a blister cracked nail type thing. He went 5 innings, 7 hits, 5 earned runs against the Padres. Was it bothering him? Maybe. Who knows? Went through the whole rigmarole of All-Star break and all the media that it comes with it for him. Maybe he's coming off of exhaustion there. I don't know, and being just the center of attention. The Astros got to him earlier this season. We know that 6 innings, 9 hits, 5 earned runs there, and a 2-5 loss for Ohtani there. I don't know. What do you think here, Dabby? I'll go over the markets here after you go.
Man, first off, it's very interesting to me that Valdez isn't pitching today. I want to know what the reasoning behind that is. I mean, obviously they're not just conceding this game because they wouldn't do something like that. But I want to know the thinking there, because I would honestly have thought they would have thrown Valdez in this spot because, with the break they could have if they wanted to. But you got Ohtani, and, I know you said you don't think he's going to be traded, but, this could be his last start in an Angels uniform on the mound. It could be, right?
You want to go stake bet on this?
You owe me already. Once you pay me, I will start betting you again.
Okay. All right.
There you go. All right.
I can't argue with that. You're right. I can't argue with it.
Okay. So, he hasn't pitched since July 4th. Like you said, it's the blister or whatever. Was it a blister or fingernail issue? I thought it was a blister.
Something like that. By the way, your mic's kind of freaking out right now.
What the fuck is it doing? What do you mean?
It's being all crackly and such. This is where's the fucking dude that dropped the mic play? Where's that guy?
I ordered another mic, actually, so it'll be here like in a day or two.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I guess it'll probably be here Monday, I think. Is it fixed?
No, but let's rock and roll. Well, now here we go. This is Dabby Cab in its finest form.
This piece of shit. You can hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Is it bad?
No, you're good.
All right. I know with Trout out, what the Angels, and again, I don't have this in front of me. I think they're 1-9 since he went out. They haven't been playing great. But it's Ohtani, man. And I even though he's been hurt, I wouldn't want to go against him here. Honestly, I'd look at the Astros. I'd look at the Angels in the first 5. I'd probably take them on the run line and back Ohtani because it's just how I do things here. But this isn't a spot where I'm looking to do it right now. Not with this Angels team. They've just completely fallen apart again. Like the same shit that they did. You think, last year, this is about the time they fired fucking Madden, right?
I think it was a little earlier, honestly, which is shocking to say, but yeah.
Yeah, this is the same shit they do every single year. Break this team up, man. Send Ohtani somewhere else. Hell, send fucking Trout somewhere else. It's such a shit show every single year. It's a train wreck, and it's hard to watch because I even bought into it again. I was like, oh, I'm worried about the Angels, not the Astros for the Rangers. Not worried about the Angels, not in one bit, like 2 weeks later, right after I say that.
By the way, I love Wine Time Sports, one of the only Angels fans that I know. And he's eating this. He's eating all this. And I believe, and listen to him, guys. Coming from a biased Angels fan, maybe that should have been first here.
I want to root for the Angels. Wine Time, I want to be an Angels fan, and they just piss me off every time I try. So,
yeah, I agree here. I mean, again, I think there's a 0% chance he gets traded. I found the report very interesting again, because again, you will hear this for the next 3 weeks. So-and-so team is interested in Ohtani. No fucking shit. Everyone's interested in Ohtani. Of course they're interested in Ohtani. Just no one has the capital, or no one's willing to fucking trade him. It's just they're trade for him with that much stuff with little time. I don't care if little markets are fucking going after him too. They just not. Could you imagine the Baltimore Orioles trading for Shohei Ohtani for fucking?
Okay, so let's talk about who might go get him. The Twins might go get him. That's somebody.
No chance. What are you talking about? The Twins have nothing that can go get him.
Dude, everybody has more than you think. Everybody has more than you realize that they have.
No, they don't have top 100 prospects.
They got somebody in there. I'm sure they do.
Somebody. They need fucking like 3.
And they got money, bro. People can make things happen more than you understand. Trust me.
No chance. They have nothing. Yeah, you need a team with a top farm system, like the Tampa Bay Rays, like maybe, but like still, again, like you got nothing. They've got nothing for 3 months of Ohtani, and no one's gonna pay that price. It's going to be like the Juan Soto trade, but Juan Soto had 3 years of control. I don't know. And Nutflush, by the way, was asking about Ohtani's last few starts here against the Astros, and I completely got sidetracked with.
He's not been good. The Astros have got to him. I can tell you that.
Yeah, no, he hasn't been. And the fun part about Ohtani, you have to make sure you're on fucking his hitting or his pitching splits. Is not his hitting splits. His last 2 starts this year, he's had 2. This will be his 3rd, and he went 3-1 against them last year. Just a note there. But This year, 7 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 home run, 7 Ks, 2 walks. And his last start, which we mentioned, 6 innings, 8 hits, 5 runs, 4 of them earned off 2 home runs, 6 Ks, 1 walk there. And I'll mention real quick, in 2022, he was 3-1 against them. And in 5 starts, gave up 1 run in all of those starts. And I remember that because in 21, he was shit against the Astros. And I say that he only pitched twice against them. He gave up 6 earned runs in one of them. So I love my guy BJ, and I respect the bet. And if I had to pick a side, I'd pick the Astros here too, but I'm not betting on it. And now let's talk about the market here real quick before we move on. 86% of the bets and 90% of the money on the Houston Astros there. So not surprising to me because the Astros are dogs there. Totals wise here, kind of the same deal, but on the under, 86% of the bets and 83% of the money on the under there. So shout out to them. So let's move on here, Dabby Cab. We got a few games left, 2 exactly. One I think we can skip over, Twins A's, because who the fuck's pitching for the A's? I don't know. I have not seen anything announced yet. I don't think I've seen a line yet either. So if you guys know in the chat, let me know. But here's the thing, Dabby Cab. I don't think I can talk about Kenta Maeda anymore. I said this dude was closer to the KBO than the major leagues when he came back. I thought this guy was going to get fucking crushed and then go over to Korea and enjoy a lavish lifestyle over there. But since he's come back, his last 2 starts, 7 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, 1 of them earned against the Royals. Again, I know it's the Royals, but it's a great start. And 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs against the Atlanta fucking Braves. So I respect Kenta Maeda. I won't fade him anymore. I'll just pass here. As Kyle is saying, I lean towards the A's, but who the fuck's pitching for him? I don't know. So nothing here for me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you want me to say. If we don't have a pitcher, I'm not going to give a fucking cap on a game. So what do you want me to do? Guess? I mean,
yeah. I don't know. Yeah, exactly. I just I wanted nothing to do with this game, so I agree with you. And by the way, I think the KBO pays more, Billy Friedrich. I don't know exactly, but I saw an article that he had his KBO team already picked out already. That's why I say KBO. And shout out to the MPB as well. I think, I don't know exactly who gets paid more in MPB or KBO, but it was just my assumption there. Last game on the card. Let's go to Dabby Malone's favorite squad, the Detroit Tigers versus the Seattle Mariners, coming off the All-Star game, et cetera, et cetera. Beautiful time. Man, Dabby. Eduardo Rodriguez really bit me in the ass last time. I thought he was going to come back, pitch well off the IL. Did not. So what am I going to do here? I think he pitches well, Dabby. I'm going right back to the well. First 5 under here. I took him first 5 under 4, I believe here. I want to double check real quick. But I think that my guy Eduardo comes back, pitches well, and the Mariners are the most average of average hitting baseball teams out there. First 5 under 4, minus 120 for me here. The Mariners are just so average, Dabby, as I was just saying. Against righties, 101 weighted runs created plus, 14th average. Against lefties, 16th weighted runs created plus, 100 average. Just an average lineup. Luis Castillo, who we also have discussions about Luis Castillo frequently. How I say he's not been pitching well. You'll pull up his ERA. He's like, he's got a 2.6. What are you talking about? And we go back and forth about that. I think he pitches well here. So this is one of those rare times where I'm actually backing Luis Castillo, the Tigers offense.
You tried to say he's not a good pitcher.
He's not pitching well this year.
That doesn't make sense.
I faded him and made money. That's why I don't think he's been pitching well.
That doesn't mean he's not pitching well. What the fuck, man?
You
think DeGrom was pitching bad all those games where the Mets couldn't put any runs up for him?
Well, no, he was pitching well, though.
Oh, okay. So his numbers were true, and Castillo's numbers.
Luis Castillo against the Tampa Bay Rays, 6 innings, 8 hits, 6 runs, 5 of them earned.
Well, there's a bad game. What is his overall fucking numbers on the whole year?
Well, again, he's fadeable. You can fade him and make your money
You
on
can
it.
fade anybody in baseball on the right day. That's what baseball is.
And for Luis Castillo, they're happening more often than not.
Okay, no. Okay, anyways,
I'm back
for the Mariners. It's the Mariners, though. It's not him. It's not his pitching. So you just have to word it differently. Let me just talk about this game, okay? This month, 205 plate appearances against righties. Tigers have 87 runs created plus against right-handers. Not very many plate appearances, just 51 appearances here for the Mariners, but 124 runs created plus this month. And you look at Detroit, only 4 guys from Detroit have seen Castillo before. So, not very many people have much experience with him at all. I think he has a really strong performance here. I think this is a spot where he might, or what I would maybe look at here would just be a Tigers team total under, even with the total sitting at 7. Just because what you've said, the Mariners don't put up runs for him. And so in those games where maybe he's like lost like a 1-0 or a 2-0 game in the first 5, I bet he still hit team total unders because, he's kept the numbers down overall. So I would look Mariners here if I was going to find a way to bet this game. Maybe first 5 run line. I'm not betting it, but that's where I'd be also.
By the way, a little Nuffush Allen word here. So the word is Ross Stripling had a sit-down talk with management and said he wants to be a starter. Doesn't want to be a part of the bullpen days. Pitchers have weird mindsets and more to come. So that means you should expect a full Ross Stripling day and not a bullpen day today for the Giants. It's very interesting there. Who are they playing against? They're playing the Pirates. Well, I don't believe in Ross Stripling, the starter. I don't believe in him, honestly. But his first start after telling management that, you kind of expect him to go out there and pitch well, right? Especially against a shit team. So, very interesting. Thank you, Not Flush, for that, as always. So, and by the way, Dabby Cab, 5 minutes ago, John Morosi tweeted or threaded this. I don't know what to say that. The Angels will consider incoming trade inquiries for Shohei Ohtani, but a trade is still viewed as unlikely. Thank you, John. Again, this is they're just going to swing all this information about the Ohtani trade and nothing's going to happen. It's just clicks, all the bullshit. All the bullshit is going to happen.
Can you bet that he's not going to get traded?
I would fucking love to bet that. There's no fucking chance you can bet that. If you guys, I would love.
Dude, you can bet on anything.
I would love to see that.
I saw some fucking tweet that showed numbers for like odds of if we have alien contact in 2023 from FanDuel.
I did see that as well. Okay, this is hilarious because I found that immediately. It took me 2 minutes of searching and I found the bet immediately.
I told you the fuck. Don't tell me you can't bet on it. I don't believe that.
Okay, what do you think? What do you think? The wording of the bet is where will Shohei Ohtani play after the trade deadline? Angels. What do you think the odds are?
Plus or minus 160.
Oh boy, minus 375.
Okay, so he's not going to get traded. Okay,
he's not going. Yeah, he's not getting traded. And by the way, do you want to guess who has the best odds of trading for him? I'll give you a hint.
Dodgers.
It's the team that's going to sign him in the offseason. The Dodgers at plus 500.
Yep.
So, yeah, he's not getting traded. And by the way, and Lucky Lefty saying it right, and like Drip Skylark, they can't trade the merchandise. Why would anyone go to an Angels game for the rest of the year? Why would anyone want to go?
Bro, as soon as if they don't write this 1-9 since Trout's been out, why would anybody go anyways? I mean, I guess
because you can go see Shohei Ohtani.
That's the only reason you go.
Exactly. So they can't trade him. Yeah. Oh God. I need to, Dabby. I need to get up there for Angels Rangers one time because I still have
not that hard.
I still have not seen my kid, my king, my baby boy Ohtani in person yet. So I need it. I need it bad. Did you have any thoughts on this game, Dabby? Because we're talking Rangers. Did
I have thoughts on it? I literally talked about it like 5 minutes ago before you started talking for 5 minutes.
Well, sorry. I get caught up in Ohtani. I get caught up.
You want me to break it down again?
No, is there any final thoughts on this game, then?
No final thoughts. I would look Mariners probably on the run line in the first 5.
All right. I'm on the first 5 under for -120. What a fucking hectic show this has been. This is just like, like umpires, like all the players, their first game coming off the All-Star break. Maybe it was a little rusty. Maybe it was a little hectic. But the fucking information's there, and the bets are going to be cashing here today. So I'm excited, Dabby Cab. I'm excited to recap this action because it's interesting. It's very interesting for me here, and I'm excited.
JPZ, if you still have your chip, you have to get on and eat it with us. Misery loves company. So if you still have yours, you have to join still.
Very interesting. And by the way, Lucky Lefty, I told you, Jose is a stalker. I guess that's fair. You know me. Stalking Shohei. I still haven't seen him in person. I need to see him. I need to see it. I probably just cry. My full slate here. Let's talk about it. Brewers money line. I got it at a shitty line at -119 last night. Detroit, Seattle, first 5 under 4, -120. Cleveland, Texas, first 5 under 4.5 at -105. Cleveland money line at +130. And I'm going to add Miami, Baltimore under 8.5 at -102, and the New York Metropolitans first 5 money line at -115. Hoping that game goes because there's some rain in the forecast there as well there. So, and same thing in Miami, Baltimore. So we'll see how that goes. Dabby, what do you want?
I got the Padres -108 in the first 5 innings on the money line. And then I got the first 5 over 4.5 -108 on the Rangers Cleveland game. So there you go.
Oh man, I can't wait. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. This is going to be a fun second half of baseball here, Dabby Cab. First of all, a quick question, Dabby. What did you do on your All-Star break? How was your All-Star break?
Man, I gave a shit ton of pitching lessons in a really hot facility because I'm still waiting on the air conditioning to be put in. It's like a $26,000 AC unit, but they need to hurry up and get that thing in.
By the way, the Rangers to make the playoffs is now +200 for now.
Hey, there you go, man. There you go. You got a little bit of value on your bet now.
Yeah, so we're rocking and rolling.
I don't know if they're going to win the division, man, but I still think they make the playoffs.
Yeah, and Nut Flush is telling me I could have paid off all my Red Sox losses. When I talked about the Angels,
hey,
the Red Sox have been one of my most profitable teams this year.
Jose, you probably won't join us, but Nutflesh said he's joining me. I'm going to be in Vegas November. I know this is a while ahead, so this gives everybody in the chat a chance to plan. Get your ass down there and let's all hang out. November 8th through 11th, I'm going to be in Vegas. Anybody there that can join, let's fucking have a good time.
I will admit I will be just coming off of a plane because I'll be in Miami taking care of my sister's dog. Shout out to my sister. I'll be leaving November 5th from Miami. But unfortunately, I think I'm going to have to pass because I know who you're going to hang out with while you're there. And
no, you don't. I'm going to hang out with everybody that shows up. Everybody.
Yes. I know you're going to hang out with everybody, and I'm all set with hanging out with one of those people. I'm good there. I don't need to.
Who is that? Who are you talking about?
I don't need to be treated like fucking Will Hill or whatever the guy's name is from Goodfellas. So no, thank you there. Again, we appreciate everyone. And my sister's dog's name's Luna. Shout out to Luna and Quao as well. Quautemo is if you guys want to know his full name. Lucky Lefty, Billy, Real Deal, JPZ, Nasty Nate. What an interesting show this has been a weird show, but I'm glad everyone's joined us here for the whole time.
XCal,
Real Deal, Rem Most, Mike, Nut Flush. Again, congratulations on your anniversary. Mike M, hope you enjoy it. Or sorry, Mike M. Nut Flush, hope you enjoy it. Billy Friedrich, Kelly, J Dub, all you guys. We appreciate everyone in here as always. It's fun. Justin McElvey, Strip Skylark, Robert Franklin, Joe Yurkovich in here, Rocco Rogers, Oz B dropped a little Mariners money line, run line in here. Wine Time Sports. I hope you guys keep your guy Ohtani. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. I'm excited, Dabby. When's the next time we can see you? Oh, you'll
tomorrow,
be back
Jose. Tomorrow. In like a few hours, I'll be fucking doing the exact same thing with you again.
Oh yeah, that is factual statements, huh? Again, it's almost like It's the All-Star break, and we haven't done this in a little bit, and I'm just completely out of whack now. So I'm excited here, guys. Mally Mal, join us here. Say hey to us on social media at Dabby Cab or aka at Dabby Malone, at Jose Bouquett on Twitter. Say hey, and we'll see you guys next time.